in here. I have to rifle through the last two quickly. Analyze the data. Okay. So we've got unemployment rate inflation. So that's how much the unemployment rate grew this year. So it looks like it grew by 8% in the States and 5% in Australia. So the unemployment rate is going to be growing faster in the United States. The labor force in thousands is those who are either working or looking for a job. The United States is 154,000, while Australia is 12,000. So obviously, the United States has a larger population, is going to have a larger labor force. The labor force participation rate is 63.7% in the United States and 66% in Australia. So those are people that are either working or actively looking for work. Those that don't fall into that are like children, the elderly, retirees, and people that are not looking for a job. The inflation rate is around 2% in both countries, which is pretty common for developed countries around the world. Yeah, our junior tutor said that the table above lists the unemployment rate increase, labor force participation rate, and the inflation rate in the US and Australia in 2012. Number of people who are willing and able to work but cannot find a job in a country belong to the unemployment. The unemployment rate inflation above shows the rate of increase in the unemployment rate, both in the US and Australia. So there's an 8.1% increase in the US and a 5.2% increase in Australia. Therefore, US experienced a higher increase in unemployment than Australia. The labor force measures the number of people who are willing and able to work, whether they are working or unemployed. However, it does not include those working in the military. That's an important point. I forgot to mention that. The labor force does not include those in the military. Labor force in the US has 154 million people. Australia is about 12 million people. Therefore, the US has more labor resources than Australia. However, Australia has a higher labor participation rate of 66%, while the US is 63%. The inflation rate measures how fast the market basket price is to increase. Market basket price includes all the prices of basic commodities, primary goods, and services, such as staple food products, transportation, healthcare, and others. The inflation rate in the US is higher than Australia. The US has 2.1%, while Australia has 1.8%. In Canada, we use the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, to measure inflation. And if you ever wanted to look up what they actually use in the Consumer Price Index, it's a pretty interesting exercise. I'd recommend it.